Welcome back to Fred Achando Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. William Samoei Ruto is in deep dilemma. There is a story that is running in the Nation and the Standard, and experts are saying that there are three things that William Ruto is struggling with today, because he is trying to make things work for him as he is also trying to look at 2027. So he is putting things in place here and there. Experts are saying that he's grappling with an economy that is right down on its knees, and he really wants to entice the hustlers and endear himself to them for the promises that he gave them, but things are not working out. And they notice that there is a lot of pressure coming from the Azimio fraternity, because of late there is that whistleblower who came up with some revelations that Raila had won the last election with 8 million against William Ruto's 5 million. And then there is the replacement of the IEBC commissioners with people he wants to dance to his tune, but it is not getting it very easy, because Raila has declared that if he is not going to engage Kenyans, then that is an exercise in futility. But the one that experts feel is really giving William Ruto a lot of headache is the replacement of the men in the military in their rank and profile. Experts are saying this, that when William Ruto inherited this government, the government is full of loyalists of President Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, the term of the General Robert Kibochi, who's the current Chief of Defense Forces, his term was just extended because we were nearing an election, and because of that crisis, Uhuru Kenyatta decided that he could not just replace him, so his term was extended. Now, currently, experts are saying that William Ruto might not be very comfortable with Robert Kibochi, but in an attempt to replace him, he is guided by two things. One is the recommendation from the military council. By now, you all know that there is a rule that was set by the former Chief of Defense Forces, Mr. Daudi Tonje. And at the heart, there are several of those recommendations, but there is one that has been adopted as a tradition. That Daudi Tonje had crafted a rule that the Chief of Defense Forces must rotate among the three military organs: the Kenya Navy, the Kenya Army, and the Kenya Air Force. Now, the current Chief of Defense Forces, Mr. Robert Kibochi, is actually from the Kenya Army, and he took from Mr. Mwadede, who Mr. Mwadede was from the Kenya Navy. So Samson Mwadede was from the Kenya Navy, and now Robert Kibochi is from the Kenya Army. So that means that William Ruto must must appoint someone from the Kenya Air Force as the next Chief of Defense Forces. It might sound very easy, but what lies ahead for Ruto is loyalty. Because experts say that for ease of running the government, William Ruto must look for people who are loyal to him. Even though the law demands that the men in uniform will swear their allegiance to someone who's in power, sometimes it's good to get people who are loyal to you. If you've looked of late and studied William Ruto, he has replaced all the military men who Uhuru Kenyatta had appointed into the civil service, including the Kenya Wildlife Service, which was being run by a military guy. The Kenya Meat Commission was taken to the military. William Ruto has reversed that. Even in the Nairobi Nairobi was being run by General Mbadi. So William Ruto had actually accused Uhuru Kenyatta of militarization of our country. So Uhuru Kenyatta, when he was, he knew very well that he was going out of office, decided to promote Mr. John Mbadi to the position of the Lieutenant General, and he also promoted General Ogolla into the position of Lieutenant General, being the most qualified for the positions that William Ruto is looking at. Both General Mbadi and General Ogolla come from the Kenya Air Force, and remember, the being guided by the tradition of the Tonje rules, William Ruto will pick someone from the Air Force. So their relationship with General Mbadi is one that is not palatable. But the one that is even worse is that one of Francis Ogolla. And the reason why their relationship with Francis Ogolla is even worse is because Chebukati has implicated Ogolla, that Ogolla was part and parcel of the team who came to visit him at Bomas very early and in the wee hours of the morning. In fact, anasema kitu saa tisa. They came, and Chebukati claims that they came to subvert the will of the people. They came to compel and coerce Mr. Chebukati to announce Raila Amolo Odinga as the next president. That is what Chebukati says. Now, the reason why Chebukati is coming up with these wild allegations is to give William Ruto a leeway not to pick General Francis Ogolla, because William Ruto will use this excuse that they cannot promote someone who wanted to compel a body that is mandated to oversee elections to announce someone who, according to them, was not elected by the people. So experts say that the behind the scenes, the main reason why Wafula Chebukati is coming up with these wild allegations that he was being cajoled to announce Raila Odinga or to moderate the election results so that they could go back for a runoff, for a rerun, is because he wants to implicate Major Francis Ogolla. Kenyans are watching to see William Ruto's next move, because very soon he will be appointing ambassadors and head of parastatals. In fact, those are the main appointments that people are waiting from William Ruto. And many experts believe that he will force Francis Ogolla to go on compulsory leave, or he will appoint him as one of the ambassadors, as Uhuru did to Major Ochieno, who was also the next in line in the Air Force, because he had reached some rank where he was the one who was going to take over. And because back then Uhuru Kenyatta also wanted loyalists, he decided to appoint Major Ochieno to become an ambassador. I think whether it was in Japan or somewhere. If you look at how Chebukati has come up with these allegations, there are allegations that you cannot connect. There are several links. These allegations first came to the Supreme Court, and the lawyer representing Mr. Kihara and the team that were accused to have gone to Bomas to compel Mr. Chebukati to announce Raila explained explicitly that before they went to Bomas, Mr. Kinyua, who was the former chief of staff, called Mr. Chebukati and he explained to him that we are coming to discuss matters of security, because there is a lot of anxiety among Kenyans because the results that were being shown at Bomas on some screen had stopped, and so this was really tension was really building up as it happened in 2007. So they wanted to discuss with Wafula Chebukati just to understand whether there were some challenges, and that is what he explained. But Wafula Chebukati is now saying that that is not the true picture. They came to compel him. It is in light of this that Kenyans are asking President William Ruto to come up with a commission very fast so that we can know the truth. Because these are now, it is Chebukati's words against the words of those who are being accused, and it is not healthy for the country. This is the reason why people are saying that William Ruto is a man who is under siege. He doesn't know which one to fix first. And then there are the hustlers with the cost of living, and then the Cherera team, and Raila is breathing fire. So really, William Ruto is a man who beat more than he can chew, because things are getting thicker for him. But experts are saying that with all this happening, the one that is giving him most headache is the replacement of the chief of the defense forces, considering that he must follow the tradition that his predecessors have followed before. But William Ruto is a man who is known to make a U-turn. He can decide not to pick the Tonje rule, because I don't think it is entrenched in the constitution, but just a tradition that has been followed before. The only problem is that the military council, as is constituted today, will recommend to him two names, and that will be Major John Mbadi and Major Francis Ogola. I don't know what William Ruto is going to do and how he's going to survive this, but the headache that he has is just so big on himself. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take.